All right, I got to share this story. It's one of my favorite stories. And this is probably 10 years ago. My agency was in downtown Wheaton, Starbucks, Dairy Queen, right on Main Street, right by the railroad tracks. And a dentist, a local dentist called and said, "Hey, we are in the market for an agency." It was actually two female dentists, and they purchased a dental company, and that previous owner was retiring. And actually, yeah, so they bought that company and they want to grow the dental practice, right? And so they said, "We're in the market. We've interviewed four people. Someone referred us to you." It was like the person that only does SEO. And we're wondering if you'd like to be interviewed. And that's a little bit of a different approach for me. I'm usually not asked to be interviewed, but I rolled with it fine. I said, sure, that'd be great. So I met with them, and I met with the two dentists and one of the husbands, and also the former as well as the current office manager. So there's four people, and they all had a notepad and they were just drilling me with questions. And they were really working hard to do their due diligence to find the right internet marketing company. And after a series of questions that I felt were not great questions, I said, "Can I just be honest with you?" And they're like, "Well, sure." Because I sensed they were trying hard, but they kind of weren't really making traction. And I was just afraid that if they didn't have the right information, they could be taken advantage of. I said, "I appreciate you're working hard and you're trying to make the right decision, but I just feel like you're not asking the right questions." And they said, "What do you mean? Can you explain?" I said, "Yeah." And I kind of explained to them what I just explained to you, in that you should know what your services are, and then that you should figure out how to rank high on the Google search result in the most profitable way, because you want to maximize your return on investment for advertising. And then that's going to, there's a couple different ways you could do it. And it kind of depends on your business model. Are you looking just to get people in the door so you can set them up for a long customer lifetime value? Or maybe you're looking for that like high end surgery or the most profitable service. So there's a couple different ways to do it, but irregardless, you need to know what your service are. You need to do an audit. You need to say, "Okay, how do we get ranked here?" Just like I just showed you. When I mentioned Google Ads, they like at least two people kind of jumped on me and said, "We're not doing Google Ads. That's a big rip. We've heard about it. It's a big rip off. It's bad. Like, just so you know, we're not doing it." I said, "No problem. Totally fine." And even back then, it's a different search result nowadays than it was 10 years ago. Yeah. And 10 years ago, they used to show seven companies where the map pack is. Now they're down to three. But basically, I said, "No problem. I could still help you, but you still need to rank for the keywords that are relevant to your business." Well, there were some obstacles with not doing Google Ads. Local service ads didn't exist. Anyway, we did a week later, they interviewed me for an hour. A week later, they called and said, "We want to go ahead with you." I said, "Great." I met with them. We onboarded them. It was great. And then a month later, I said, "Hey, I'm in your area." Obviously, I typically don't meet with people in person, meet with Zoom with clients all around the country. And I said, "Can I meet with you?" They said, "Great, sure." And it was in the middle of the day. So as you can imagine, there's patients and it's hectic. And I'm in the break room and people are coming in and out. And I said, "Hey, do you do oral surgery?" And I happened to have two of the dentists there, the owners, and they lit up and they said, "Yeah, actually, yesterday we just finished a case. And when all said and done, it brought in $40,000 worth of revenue." And I said, "Well, just so you know, you can't be found when someone types in the phrase oral surgeon." And, dead awkward silence. And they said, "Well, how do we fix that?" And I said, "The easiest way to fix it is with Google Ads." And I remembered they didn't want to do Google Ads. And so, like, what do we do? And they, they said, "Well, like, why can't you get us to show up for that keyword phrase with just local search engine optimization?" And I explained it that maybe we could over time. It's possible, but the top of the engine, because Google controls things, it'd be really easy to get you to rank high. And so I proposed that they set a budget of $1,000. We try it for a month and we see if we can get them, oral surgeon clients. And, sure enough, it worked really well. And for many years, they continued to spend. $1,000 on oral surgeon and oral surgery type of keywords. Now, at the time, they had a part-time oral surgeon that would come to their office, and obviously, we kept them very busy, and that practice actually expanded quite a bit. So that's I love that story because you kinda need to know the ins and outs of, like, which like, local service ads kinda has its own algorithm, Google Ads has its own algorithm, and there's ins and outs of it, and there's ways to get people to rank for different keywords based on different things.